Happy day, students. Today we are going to see chapter 4, carbon and its compound. So in last chapter we have seen about ionic bonding. So what is ionic bonding? Ionic bonding is nothing but the transfer of electrons. So metals will tend to lose electrons and the non-metals will tend to accept electrons. So the bond formed between the two elements, it is called as ionic bonding. So either by gaining or losing electrons, it is attaining a ionic compound. But in this chapter, we are going to focus on covalent bonding. The same thing, it cannot be applied to carbon. Why? We will see it in detail. What is the atomic number of carbon? Yes, it's 6. So how will you write the electronic configuration? 2, 4. So it has 4 outermost electrons. So it needs to lose its 4 electron or it needs to gain 4 electrons in order to attain the stable configuration. But what is the problem here? If it wants to lose its 4 electron because it needs the large amount of energy to remove the 4 electrons, then okay, losing of electron is a problem. Then you may ask, ma'am, either by gaining 4 electrons, it can attain the stable configuration. There also, there arises the problem because already it has 6 protons. Still, if it accepts 4 electron, it need to hold 4 more electrons, so totally 10 electrons. So it is also not possible. Then how it is possible? Here comes the concept of covalent bonding. So carbon mutually share its electron present in the outermost shell. It forms a covalent bonding. So due to this sharing of 4 electrons with other electrons of carbon is said to form covalent bonds. So the carbon-carbon bond is very strong and stable. So you may think that it has the strong bond, then melting and boiling points have to be higher. No. Due to the intermolecular forces are very small, it has low melting and boiling points. Okay, no ions will be formed because either it doesn't lose its electron or gains an electrons. You know very well that if metals tends to lose its electron, it forms cation plus electropositive metals. If it tends to accept electrons, it forms anion, electronegative elements. Whereas in this case, due to the sharing of electrons, no charged particles, that is no ions are formed. So that covalent compounds are poor conductors of electricity. So we know very well that ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point due to the strong intermolecular force of attraction. They are good conductors of electricity, whereas covalent bonding, they have low melting and boiling points. They are poor conductors of electricity because they do not form ions. Let us proceed for the more examples. How covalent bond is formed. So we will take the example of hydrogen. So we know very well that atomic number of hydrogen is 1. So electronic configuration is 1s1 and it has 1 valence electron. So we take 2 hydrogen, it has 1 outermost electron. Each hydrogen has 1 outermost electron. Now it mutually shares its electron. So the bond formed between hydrogen bond is covalent bond. So we will write it as H2. Okay, next example we will see formation of oxygen. Okay, oxygen, what is the atomic number? It is 8. So how will you write electronic configuration? 2, 6. So it needs 2 more electrons to attain a stable configuration. So 2 oxygen atom. So it will mutually share its electrons. So here it is 2, here it is 2. So it forms 2 bonds. So that is one. So that only we get a double bond. So each one pair of electrons means 2. it forms a single bond. Here two pairs of electrons, so only double bond, O2. If you take a similar example, nitrogen, there it forms a triple bond. How? Nitrogen, what is the atomic number? It is 7. So how will you write the electronic configuration? 2, 5. So it will mutually share its electron. It forms here one, here one, here one, here one. So each pair of electrons means 2. So here it will mutually share it, means how many pair? 1, 2, 3. So it forms a triple bond. So this is how the covalent bonding occurs. It is the example for covalent bonding. These are the other examples. Suppose if two hydrogen it mutually share, it forms a single bond. Now we will see the carbon dioxide. What is the formula for carbon dioxide? CO2. So see, carbon has 4 valence electron. Oxygen it needs 2. So this mutually shares. So how it forms? O double bond C double bond O. This is for carbon atom CH4 or it is CF4, carbon tetrafluoride. Carbon, we know that it has 4 outermost electrons. The orange color represents carbon. Fluorine, what is atomic number? It is 9. So how will you write 2, 7? So 6, 2, 1 bond. Here only one lone pair. So it will share its 4 fluorine. So it will mutually share its electrons and it forms carbon tetrafluoride. So this is how covalent bonding is formed in similar example, methane. Methane, carbon has 4 electrons, it shares with hydrogen, mutually sharing its electron, it forms a single bond. This is for ethane. Ethane, the example is C2H6. So naming of compounds, we will study it on later. Okay, how? Because carbon is 12. How it is named as ethane, we will learn it later on. Okay. Now the versatile nature of carbon. Two important points, versatile nature. So we know that due to the presence of the covalent bond in between that, it is able to form a large number of properties due to the ability of cation. So see, it is tetravalent, right? So it is able to bond, it is able to share its electrons with 4 more other atoms are like carbon. Okay, so it is able to form long chain, branched or cyclic compounds or single bond, double bond or triple bond. So it is able to form a large number of molecules. So that is called as catenation. So it has the property of catenation because it has the unique ability to form bonds with atoms of other carbon. Okay, this is the first one. So catenation, and it is tetravalent. It is capable of bonding with other 4 atoms or carbon or any combining monovalent element. So carbon can form compounds with oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, chlorine. Okay, so the compounds formed are stable due to the result of its small size. It enables the nucleus to hold the shared pair of electrons tightly. So only the bonds formed, a covalent bond formed between carbon is very stable and it is very strong because of its smaller size. So the nucleus can hold the shared pair of electrons tightly. Okay. So we will give introduction to saturated and unsaturated carbon. What is hydrocarbon? In name itself, you know, it is made up of or it contains organic compounds that contain only carbon and hydrogen. So in that it has different types, saturated and unsaturated. Saturated means presence of single bond. Unsaturated means presence of double bond. Saturated bonds, the covalent bond formed will be the single bond. Between the carbon atom will have a single covalent bonds. That is called as saturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon means the double bond or triple bond between the carbon-carbon atoms. Homologous series. Homologous series is nothing but the same functional group or the same group which will substitute the hydrogen atom. That is called as homologous series. This homologous series will have the similar chemical properties because throughout it is the same. So it will have the similar chemical properties. For example, methane, it is one carbon, so it is meth. Or due to the presence of single bond, it is called as ane. So it is called as methane. This one, two carbon. For two carbon, it is eth. So it is called as ethane. So it is the homologous series of alkanes. If you want to see the homologous series of alkene, it is ethene and propene. One thing we need to remember, for the formation of alkene and alkyne, at least we need two carbon atoms. So only methane is not possible. Okay, so at least two carbon atoms. This is the homologous series of alkenes. If you take the homologous series of alkynes, it is ethane or propane.